I looked at it, I was like, oh my God, I'm not using this at all. Oh my God, this is like a roadmap to my client's brain, and I completely ignored it. Because in prac, it's face-to-face, it's probably, I don't know, 1 hour segment of the morning, let's say. You do the dilts, you have a talk about it, and then you move on to the next piece. And I know in online, I think it's superior because you get to spend 2.5 hours on it, and then you get a whole week to think about it, if you want to work on it. And then you come back the next week, or you get to then practice it with your buddy because you have your triads or whatever you work out. And so when you think about it, you've had a whole week to think about it. You hopefully practiced it with your buddy. And so it goes in much deeper, I think, or at least it's got more of a chance of going in deeper. And then next week, there's another topic, right? As opposed to, all right, we've done Robert Dilts, we've had morning tea, and then we moved on to something else. And like by the end of the day, you've done 4 things. What was that thing on the first session? I can't ever remember it, right? And I went through it and I could not believe how much I had deleted from my existence. It's like the Robert Dilts model, for example, and it's got it goes like my whiteboard, always handy in case of emergency break glass. So the Robert Dilts model, and I've gone deep on this one too since as well. So the Robert Dilts model looks like this. Just get another. And you've got layers to it. And so when you draw this on a board for someone, it gives them certainty, it gives them something for their brain to hang on to. And this is the roadmap of a person. Where are we going to do the work? I don't know. I don't know where to do the work. Well, let's go having a conversation about your environment, right? They've got a problem, right? And you do this to a client. I did a video just like this. And what I said to her is, all right, we don't have to face your past. We can build you a better future, get you excited about the things you want to do in life, figure out what are the environments that you need to be in for the things you want instead, the big coachy question. The next one is, what about your habits and behaviors? Oops. Right, so your habits and behaviors, like what are you doing? Like these are measurements, but these are clues on what's going on, and we had to talk about that. Well, we didn't. I was doing a video for her about her future because I'd had some clues in the conversation, just like you tonight, David, with me. You've got lots of clues if you were to coach me on something else. All right, Matt's got this pattern. We can work with that and help him even more than I could before tonight, right?
Yeah.
And then the next one is your skills and your capabilities, right? So maybe, do not ask me to fly a plane. I've got no idea what I'm doing, okay? Do not get me. It doesn't matter how much I believe I can do it. I don't have the skill. So sometimes people don't have the skill to sort themselves out. Sometimes they do. Now, you were identifying I had the skill to sort myself out tonight, and yet you picked up other patterns that were maybe in beliefs, right? And values and things that were important, which is up here. So then we got beliefs and values. And so this is where we start to get into coaching land, where we start to understand how we're going to help someone move forward. And once we got into her beliefs and values, and they were coming out in different patterns and different ways, and you can sort of pick up on them, that leads us to identity. I am statements. Anything that's an I am statement, that's the big one. Now, we can't go at identity straight on because it'll fight you like a bucking bronco sort of thing. But we can go to your beliefs and values, or we can go to the qualities, individual qualities inside there, and let someone re-tap into their experience of life, right? Which is meta model stuff, right? So that's cool. And then that all leads and spits out the top in purpose. So I did a video on this, and we were talking about this, and I was just talking up and down this. And then I said, there's 2 things that are going on. If we want to focus on your future, don't worry about the past. We'll resolve those over time, but we don't have to face that without fear. And here's what I realized is that over 5 or 6 sessions with this client, she had started to trust firstly in me, but then she started to trust in herself, that she had the skill, or she had the tools now to be able to handle facing the big, hairy, whatever it was from the past, right? So that was fascinating. And then Now, this is when once I saw this Dilts and I deleted it out of my brain, went, oh my God. I went off and researched and watched lots of Robert Dilts videos, the guy who did it. And there's an extra piece, which I think is super, super valuable. And that is the give and take, or you could call it the soul and ego.
Okay.
And life's a balance, right? Oops.
Mm-hmm.
There, life's a balancing act. And because life's a balancing act, if you're giving yourself 100% away, you're going to be depleted, right? Eventually you'll be no use to anyone anyway.
Mm.
But if you're taking, you know, then you're going to be resented by all around you, and it's not a good thing either. So there's a balancing act. We've got to take enough to be able to eat and survive and nourish. We also have to give so we feel connected. And so there's a balancing act in all of this. And once I saw that piece, I went, oh, that's so brilliant. It's just incredible. And I did this video around it. I just started writing words around the future and the things I knew she wanted. And then she sent an email back. Okay, Matt, I'm in. That sounds great. When do we start?
Fantastic.
Because I used the Dilts model. I didn't know it was a sales structure. I was just actually genuinely, my intention wasn't about getting her signed up. My intention was, I don't want her bad experience of facing the big hairy demon to be the last thing she does in coaching. There's 1,000 other things she can do. I wanted to know there's more for her, be with me or someone else, but I didn't want her to stop there because there was clearly some big things to deal with. And building a future self is half the battle. And so that's where I focused it. And of course, eventually the trust built in herself and me, and then she faced some of those things and some healing's being done on all of that. So and it's been an incredible adventure with her. And I didn't know that this would do that. I just was actually just genuinely caring, you know.
Yeah.
So that's the Dilts process.
Yeah, thank you for showing me that and taking me through that. It's very vague.
It's that'll be right at the start. So you've only laid on about 36 other weeks on top of it, right? So don't feel bad.
I actually joined about 6 weeks into the group.
Oh, there you go.
So I might have missed it, but it does seem vaguely familiar. But thank you for explaining it, because that's quite a cool model to actually do on myself.
Well, that's right. And the environments, I've got enough environment I could do it, but environment is also getting around other people. You know, and here I am with you guys tonight. Well, I've just entered a new environment, haven't I? Because of you guys, and you're coaching, you're keen, you're lots of giving, but also learning. So you're giving, but you're also taking, because you need to learn for yourself, right? So there's this nice, beautiful balance going on. So you can see how it starts to give you somewhere to do the work and concentrate. And talking about my focus tonight, right? What's the one thing I'm doing? Well, it's a habit, but it's connected to something that's important to me, which is I've done my values numerous times. Growth is always at the top. You give me growth and I'll give up all sorts of things, but I'm all in, right?
Just giving yourself some real clarity and support as well, you know, around it. So yeah, very cool. Beautiful. Thank you very much, mate. And wonderful to meet you. I hope we get to work again soon. So yeah.
All right, guys. Well, it's getting late, so so much. Been an amazing session. I appreciate the coaching. I clearly needed it. We'll be meditating tomorrow, and I'll reply in with how I've gone over tomorrow and then over the next few days, just to let you know. And